Emerald. I'm the garden witch from Witches of the Moonlight, and this is Natalie from DeeplyRooted Community Garden. And we're here to work together to entertain and educate our community. Would you like to tell the community what's going on here, like with all this mulch?
Right in their neighborhood. Hi friends, I'm Natalie, and this is the DeeplyRooted Community Garden. It's our only site as of now. And it's a plot of city lands that some community members and volunteers just come together and we plant and we grow to restore the ecosystem, as well as a community space for gathering together as humans and the wildlife too. So we're healing the soil, our communities, and our nutrition.
How about a tour?
Yeah, that sounds good. So the most common question that we get asked is, what's with all the mulch?
There is a lot of it.
There is. So we have a mulch pile right here that is yet to be spread. There's always some getting thrown in and ready for us to use. It's a really important resource.
So I noticed this is a community pathway. Does this mean that anybody can come and take mulch or fruits or vegetables from the garden?
Yeah, well, I'd say the mulch people probably shouldn't come and take, but I don't think they'd want to anyway, because it's a bear to move to your house, which is why we have it dropped right here. But the produce is, in the food forest portion, is free to anyone who wants to take it. However, the raised garden beds are individually rented, and community members actually donate to us to keep that as a private little bed for themselves.
Down the wild grass from growing?
Yeah, it does. It helps. We haven't had a lot of volunteers to help us spread mulch, so it's renaturalizing the grasses, which in some ways is a great thing, but we do need our pathways and some open space to plant new things as well. The real magic in what happens with the mulch is if you dig in it now, it's a whole different material than when we first started about 3 years ago. So if you dug in it before, it was just hard, compact clay. Most of this mulch, because we spread probably 10 inches from the beginning, has broken down. And you can see little pieces still there. We didn't dig up the soil. We snuffed out the grass with the mulch, and so right under this top layer of mulch that's so dry from the sun baking it, that's the only stuff that hasn't decomposed. So this decomposing mulch has done wonders for the soil. Cool. Let's take a look at the raised garden beds. So you'll notice that we have willow surrounding us. It can be pretty expensive and ugly to fence in the areas from deer and rabbit pressure. This will especially help with deer pressure. It will grow and stay really tight, and deer resist. It doesn't 100% eliminate them, but they will resist pushing through it once it grows up a little bit bigger. These raised garden beds are each rented by a family or a community group. And this one is yours, right?
This is from Witches of the Moonlight.
Beautiful.
We have 2 more of them.
They're looking really nice. Everything's growing so nicely. Is this zucchinis?
Yes. Each one of our witches came and donated a certain plant. So everybody pitched in. Some cleaned up. Some are watering it.
That's so cool. That's what I'm talking about healing the community. We need that gathering with people in our lives, connecting with our neighbors.
We even have pumpkins growing for Halloween season, our favorite time of the year.
City land doesn't have a water spigot because it doesn't have a building. So the only way for us to access water is to harvest the rainwater. And we have a small roof on the pavilion that we use as a gathering space. All of that water that hits the pavilion is gathered into the gutters and leads down to a water tank, and that water tank over there is actually also connected to this one. This one's graded downhill just a little bit, so our community members that need to water their raised beds, they harvest it from right here. They just twist this, and they use only what they need because water is a super precious resource to us.
And can I get a newspaper?
Well, these are donated as well. Isn't that such a great area to store all of the watering cans and tools that we need to use? Yeah.
That's perfect. What about over here?
This is our compost bin. It's a new build, just this year. It's designed to keep rodents out, which is really important in the city. And we have a bay for fresh material. You just lift this up and put it in. And then, so I see some of the gardeners have already been using it, which is awesome.
I always thought compost smelled really bad, but there's no odor here.
Yeah, so the thing about compost is that you have to cover it with dry material. It needs wet material and dry material, or greens and browns. There's a lot of different ways to say it. It's really rich nitrogen sources that have a lot of nutrition in it, and then cover it up with brown, dry material that can assist it in decomposing. Otherwise, it's going to go rancid, and all the bad microbial life will just be so happy, and it'll make your plants, kind of sick too.
There's actually an art to it.
Yeah. This is a beautiful, wonderful asset for our garden that we're really glad to have.
It's a beautiful area. Look, you got a nice bench over here for us to sit on.
Yeah, this is a good place to sit because this is the sensory garden. And when you're here, all of these plants have a special attribute as far as smell or touch, and they're just really fun to interact with. So we really want to invite the community to interact with them.
So it's okay to bring our children or our special needs children here and they're allowed to touch it?
Yeah, we love that. Yep, the kids sometimes spend all their time here because they get to feel the lamb's ear and the fennel.
It's very soft and fuzzy.
Yeah, a lot of caterpillars like to gather here too.
What are these, just for...
These are snapdragons, and sometimes when the kids play with these, they talk to them, like this one. Oh, I was just taking a nap, and now you've woken me up. It's such a sunny day, and I need another nap.
I love it. I love it. This is wonderful.
Yeah, some chives. We invite the community to take what they need and to taste as long as they're leaving the majority. So you have about a 5% rule so that you can come back and take again. So you can bring chives home, snip them, and bring them home for your dinner. Maybe a sachet of lavender. Alright, so now we're in the heart of the food forest, and this is the real,
Wait, did you call it a food forest?
Yeah.
Why do you call it a forest?
Yeah, so it's kind of a meadow now, right? And a food forest is mimicking nature's ability to create a thriving ecosystem. So a lot of times in our gardens, we're spending our mornings before work watering it, our evenings after work watering it, pulling out all the slugs, worrying when the rabbits are there to nibble on things. But nature, when you go out in nature, you notice that it's doing it itself with all of the plants that it has chosen in the seed bank, and it just does. It doesn't go fallow. It works. And so we listen to nature's lessons. So something that is really important to me is going out in the wild and going to the woods and going to meadows and just experiencing and learning from it. And then we can implement that with the food choices that we want, because humans do need our special food choices. We can't just eat anything that grows naturally. So we can encourage it in our direction, but use those lessons from, what our environment really
Can we
needs.
walk around this one?
Sure. This is one of our nitrogen fixers that's really important to amend the soil so that our food plants have some really nutritious soil. We're walking by a handful of, these are yasta berries. They're a small black delicious berry. Actually, they're not, they're currants. I can see one on it right now. I just planted these about a week ago with a friend and volunteer, and the currants will first one will be ready soon. The swings have been evolved into a grapevine trellis with hazelnut and persimmon, native persimmon here, taking care of it, which is a beautiful thing that those two are also native plants, restoring our environment. This is our meadow, and it's just filled with whatever was in the seed bank to grow. And that's really important for our wildlife, our birds, our insects, so that we can get those healthy insects in and birds in that will take care of the other plants. So we care even more about closer to our hearts.
So Natalie, I see all the ground cover with the flowers, but I see bees in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of bees, and this is cinquefoil, which is a native ground cover that is troubling to a lot of gardeners, but we embrace it for keeping like a beautiful little habitat under the plants. It's called a natural mulch.
But you don't have a beehive here, right?
We don't have a beehive, but these bees just eat up all this yummy, delicious nectar. So yes, there's a lot of bees here, and that's really indicative of a healthy environment.
Helps the garden to grow.
Yeah. This area has some really interesting plants as well. I mean, this one is it's a type of indigo. There's so many different types of indigo, but this is a river locust. And it's feeding our pear trees that we have planted along here. Some actual berries. This is the berry plant.
What do you use indigo for?
This is not a dyer's indigo. It's really just a...
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I grow that at home, but this one is like a habitat plant. And a nitrogen fixer, which is just like really important for a food forest. There's some potatoes mixed in, as well as sunchokes or Jerusalem artichoke. It has multiple names. It's that's for the fence, which will really spread and fill through here. It's a cultivar of a native sunflowers with that. And so this leads us to our children's area, where the kids spend a lot of time playing when we visit, and a lot of community members bring the kids here for a picnic. And so we walk through some big blue stem grasses, and they have the starts to a willow hut that they can play in. This will connect once it's grown tall enough. So the stepping stones are fun for the kids to jump from place to place.
Can I work on this? I need help from my broom, so I can...
Yes. We found this amazing log that we brought back that the smallest of kids can really crawl through and play peekaboo more than anything. And this area will be filled with more and more plants as we have, volunteers and donations to plant it.
Does the teeter-totter really work?
The teeter-totter does work, yeah. You want to get on one side? Let's go.
Alrighty. We gotta get this out of the way. It does work.
It does.
It's not just for
Here is to flip the logs. Oh my goodness, everywhere we go, we flip logs.
Ooh,
Oh, these
potato
ones
bugs
too.
and
Yeah, see all the critters
worms
underneath.
and stuff.
So when we flip up, we always make sure we put it back. You get to see what critters are under there. The worm. Bunch of worms down here and a centipede.
Can't be afraid to get your hands dirty.
No. There's some Chinese chestnut trees which are really dear to our ecosystem because they're what we can plant as opposed to an American chestnut that has not been revived yet, but we think it will be, from a blight a long time ago that killed off a really important native food source for people and critters that a lot of us don't even know about, but it's just really a beautiful thing that we can grow a chestnut here. And we have many of them, yeah.
And this whole area here?
Yeah, this is our meeting and gathering space. This is where we do our kids' classes and many of our various events. We have speakers come here, and the logs serve as not only stepping stones for the kids to plan, but also seating for our community to come visit. And we'll have to get you guys looking up our schedule so you can come to some of those events. This is a bee hotel. It doesn't have quite enough things in it, so it slides out. But you'll see all these sticks filled with mud. They were filled by bees. It's a really great habitat for mason bees. It can be collect other types of bees as well, like leafcutter bees. But this I know is mason bees because I watched them do it. And they only survive for about 30 days in the spring. They pack this tube full of their larvae and mud, and then when those bees are ready next spring, they will hatch and pollinate all this beautiful stuff for us.
Wow, you did a wonderful job explaining everything to me today. I learned a lot.
So tell me about yourself. You're a witch?
I
What
am
does
a
that
witch.
mean? What does that mean?
Well, it means that a couple years ago, somebody posted online that they wanted to do the German witches dance, and I can't pronounce the name. But if you Google German witch, you'll see it, and it's spread throughout the country. Groups everywhere are doing it. We do it at Halloween time and throughout the year because people really like that we bring attention to their community events. And we like to help promote all the fundraising that's going on. We do some of our own. We do birthday grams and raffles and things like that. And of course, we love to dance.
Well, that sounds really fun. Do you enjoy doing it?
Oh, I do. I meet so many new friends.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have been really appreciative and excited to meet you because you wanted to donate money that you raised just to us, which is just so loving and giving. We really love that. Can you tell me, like, do you accept new volunteers to, like, be witches with you?
We do. We do at any time. We take anybody, any ability. You can come and join our witch group and dance with us. We have people that are retired. We have people that are disabled. We have people that are young. Everybody pitches in and does what they can when they can.
Nice. And how often do you meet?
It's very flexible. We like to have you meet us at least twice a month, so make sure that you are familiar with the dance and you know how to do it. And you can find us online.
Okay. Wow. So I kind of want to see the dance, but I also have another question. And I forgot my question.
And if you want to see the rest of that, stay tuned, check in with Witches of the Moonlight. We will be at an event near you. Okay, there you go.
Hi, this is Brimhilda with Witches of the Moonlight. I'm here to first thank you for watching the video learning about Deeply Rooted Community Garden here in the City of Tonawanda and the Witches of the Moonlight, who serves Western New York in their dancing. Just wanted to let you know that Deeply Rooted Community Garden and Witches of Moonlight have joined forces on June 23rd. We'll be meeting at Niawanda Park at 10 a.m. for a witch walk, followed by a Zumba class, followed by talks, and the witches will be performing as well as teaching the public our shuttle dine and spec dance. And please join us. Again, it's Niawanda Park in the City of Tonawanda from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And look for any witch or gardener and they should be able to help you. Look for us on Facebook at Witches of the Moonlight fan page and Deeply Rooted Community Garden. Thank you and have a great day.